Hello, America. Today's show topics include: is history a thing of the past? Trump's tweets are just flat out triggering people left and right. This one thing could soon be extinct. So sit back, buckle up, and hang on, because that's right, we're back and we're just getting started.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny.
You know what time it is, so sit back and get ready for the Stafford Voice, your dose of conservative in a world of liberal.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Daniel Stafford and
Roxanne.
And you're watching or listening to the Stafford Voice, where, yes, we are conservative in a world of liberal. That's right, we're back. Now, let me remind you, there are many ways to tune in, so set this channel as a favorite, whatever you have to do, so you don't get left behind, because if for some strange, crazy reason you miss the show, just relax. You'll be able to catch the replay, so just sit tight. There's no need to panic because, hey, that's right, we got you. Just make sure you subscribe. Let me say that again. Hit the subscribe button if you have not done so. It is the easiest way to stay caught up, and in the case you aren't already following us over on the social medias, you can find us on Twitter or Gab at Stafford Voice, or on Facebook, Instagram, or a handful of other social sites of your choosing. Wherever, whenever, just search for the Stafford Voice, and, well, there we are. Okay. What the hell is going on here? I mean, many of you guys probably thought we were done. But no. I mean, we got Kentucky Ron in the room. Woo woo! That's right. He says back with Daniel and Roxy and friends. That's right. Speaking of all of our friends, we got to get our friends back in the chat room. What is up?
We've been gone for so long.
We have been gone for so long. But you know what? We needed a break, and we'll explain here in just a second kind of where we've been, what's been going on. We have had a fantastic holiday season. I'm probably only speaking for myself when I say that. How was your holiday season?
Me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
I had to work way too much.
I think we all had to work way too much.
Yeah, but you didn't have to go in at 4 a.m.
No, I didn't. But I was up at 4 a.m. with you.
Well, that was more like 3 a.m. to get up.
Well, that's true. It was 3 a.m., but we did it. We got through it. Okay, but we also had some family and some friends in town, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
The cat says yeah, too.
And the cat says yeah, too. Okay, so what have we been up to? By the way, can somebody over on Twitter or something find we need to find our friends. We gotta get some people back in this chat room. Sounds good. Okay. And I apologize. Okay. Earlier this week, actually it was New Year's Day. New Year's Day, I sat down at the computer, first time in a while. And thanks, Ron, I appreciate that. Sat down at the computer, first time in a while, fired the thing up, decided I was going to check. Something told me I needed to check and see how things were going. I knew that I was going to have some computer updates that needed to be done. I start working on computer updates, and what happened? Well, needless to say, the broadcasting software for the video side of things, broadcast side of the video stuff, did a big, huge, major update. I mean, it was one of those types of updates where you had to restart your computer. You know what I mean?
Everything, too.
Where you basically lose everything. You have to go back and you have to reset everything. Well, that's what happened. So, you will notice that production quality is down on the visual side. The audible side, I don't think we've lost anything. Everything is there. I'm not getting any warning signs over on that side. Bear with me. I'm on like week 2 of this horrendous flu bug thing that's going around. I can't get too excited, because if I get excited, it sounds like I'm going to die of the cough. And I promise, if I start coughing, I'm going to have to mute myself, and I'll probably have to leave the room
As you start talking.
As I start talking too much. So I've got Jolly Ranchers stuffed into my jaw. Anyway, this cough will not go away. It is the cough that never ends. It's ridiculous. I got snot for days, guys. Sorry, but that's just real life. It's bad.
And this stuff is just, it's like we had a round at work, because I was sick for a while too, and I ended up with a sinus infection. And then I was feeling better, and then as you started to get sick, like another round happened at work, because like all these people are sick at work, and I'm like trying to stay away from everybody, use hand sanitizer, and don't breathe in my direction, and
no, you wanted to be like one of those guys or gals that walks around with one of those face masks on. It's like something out of Darth Vader, or something out of Star Wars.
Well, and as I'm sitting here talking to you about it, I was just thinking today that I feel kind of a little extra tired. and my throat feels a little raw.
Oh man, I really don't wish this on anybody.
But I don't want to be sick again. I'm like, I was sick in November.
No, I mean,
I was sick in August with strep throat.
Al said he had it over Christmas. I had it a couple of days going into Christmas. Christmas, I started feeling a little better, and that's when family was coming in town, so I was really, really thankful for that. Got to spend time with family, and I kid you not, I woke up the day after Christmas. There it was, again, full on, like, getting hit by a Mack truck. It was over. Last week was horrendous. This week, not as bad. Anyway, feeling a little better. Do what?
It's no fun.
No, it's not fun. And I feel bad for you because, you're the one that has to listen to it.
Well, I've been sick before, and you've had to listen to me cough, so.
I know. I've been kind of having fun with it because when I get to coughing and everything, obviously it tires the vocal cords and they get stressed and everything, and it changes the pitch and the tone of your voice. So I've been kind of playing around with different voices.
Are you gonna be able to do those voices again after the cold?
No, because I can't get my voice that low. I'm still waiting for puberty to hit.
Oh, okay.
waiting for the guys to drop, so the voice does too. Apparently the cat's waiting for it because she wants to bat at him or something. I don't know. She was
flopping her head over here, so she must have an itchy ear.
Yeah, I don't know what her problem was.
She's rubbing her head on the floor.
So, 2017 is over. I'm so glad that's behind us. Last year's just kind of seemed to suck overall, and I think for the most part everybody would say the same thing. Everybody was glad to get over with that year.
I think so, because I saw a lot of people on my Facebook that was just ready for 2017 to be done with, and they were really hoping and praying that 2018 will be a much better year. And usually you don't see that many people complain.
Right.
I felt like the end of this year just kind of went pfft. Like the last 6 months just seemed to really?
Yeah, but we kind of turned it on for the last month and a half, trying to get things ready and get things prepped for the start of this year, because we are trying to make things big in 2018. Al says 2017 was the best year in decades for him. I think that's probably because he spent 2007. Al, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this because you spent 2017 kind of hitting the restart button for yourself? We've talked about that a couple of times outside of the show and privately on Twitter, but I think that you did a lot of personal reset in 2017. As did I, but a lot of it was leading up to the launch of 2018. And I really feel like, Stella's got her groove back. I feel good, and I feel excited and energized about what 2018 is going to bring. So, how about we talk about that for a second?
About 2018?
Yeah, let's talk about 2018. Everybody, people call them New Year's resolutions, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, why are you yawning so early in the show?
I told you I feel tired today. I don't know if I'm coming down with all the crap that everyone else is getting again.
I hope not.
I took some vitamin C stuff earlier, that emergency.
Mm-hmm.
I drank some of that earlier today.
Oh.
Might have to have another one.
I don't know. Anyway, so everybody's got New Year's resolutions, right?
Yes.
So I don't like to refer to them as New Year's resolutions.
Because you're good for 1 week and then you forget about them.
Right. Everybody goes to the gym. The gym is busy for for January. For the month of January, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Everybody is super pumped about going to the gym or going to the grocery store and they want to eat better, or they want to do this, or they want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't like to refer to them as resolutions. I call them goals. I mean, and you know this, I used to spend a lot of time putting my goals down on paper and planning out how I wanted the next year to work. Well, for the last, 2 years, I don't think I've done that.
No, you haven't.
And I think that's why I feel like I had been in a rut for such a long time. I didn't feel like I had any direction or any. I didn't have I didn't have anything to work towards. I didn't give myself anything to achieve. Jessica said in the chat room says that they wrote theirs down. They wrote all theirs down today. They did it a little differently. They're going to do it by month. So the end of every month they'll write ones for the next month, so we can. I like that. That's a good idea.
It is, because if you do long-term goals, I think that's where I get stuck. Is I think, okay, this year I'm going to do this. This year I'm going to do that, and then a year is 12 months, so that's a long time.
Right.
It seems a long time, but sometimes it feels really fast.
Well,
so I think if you have shorter, smaller goals that you could probably achieve within a few weeks, that you may be able to better hit those goals rather than saying, okay, I'm going to do it this year.
Right. And I wanted to pull this up because, and this is the same kind of idea that I go about when I write down my goals, is I have ultimately big goals.
Well, yeah, I think you could have some huge goals, like, for the website we just launched. Those are some huge goals.
Right. But
those aren't going to happen right in the next few weeks.
Right. But you have to break them down into smaller things to make it not as scary as Jessica just says. She says it's not as scary when you do that. So this is kind of the idea that I do, is when I sit down and I look at my goals, it's called SMART, S-M-A-R-T, and it's an acronym. So S is for, S is specific, M is measurable, then you have achievable. It has to be a realistic goal, but it has to be timely. You have to give it.
Did we do this for Pathways?
We did.
Because it sounds familiar.
But I have known about setting SMART goals for quite a few years now, probably 5 or 6 years. So when I started really getting into writing my goals down and working on things, that's kind of the approach that I would take. So I'd like to kind of share some of those goals with you guys, and it'll get us into one of the things that I wanted to originally talk to you about earlier.
Before you do that, I just want to say I actually had like a proud parent moment right now, because Jessica said that they were doing goals. Do you remember when Daniel was younger and we would sit down and write goals, and he would just kind of be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this, and kind of like, he just didn't seem like he was interested in it.
Yeah.
And then now he's married and has a kid, and he's writing goals down with his wife. For a moment there, I felt kind of like, oh.
Things are different. It's different when you have a kid.
It is.
And things are different when you have a grandchild.
I know. We get to watch him tomorrow, and I'm so flippin' excited. He can use his new high chair.
I know.
We bought for here.
That's going to be exciting. Okay, so let me share, and if I'm really interested if you've got some.
I haven't written them down. I've just had some mentally in my head that I want to do, but I think I'm along the lines of Al. I think I just want to reset everything in my life, because I think that will make a huge difference in everything and how I feel.
Well, that's what Al did for pretty much all of 2017.
Well, I feel like it would take that long for me.
and maybe it does, but so I would challenge you to, if that's what your goal is, I would. You got 4 different areas in a person's life that make the most impact. You have heart, mind, spirit, and oh man. No. Wow. The 4th one is escaping me. Heart, mind, body, and spirit. Of those, so you basically have 4 areas that you're supposed to. I do that in quotations. That you should work on, and everything basically falls under those 4 categories. So the Ron says it's beer. The 5th is beer. For us, it would be root beer, because we don't drink. But excuse me, I'm gonna try not to get excited. So my challenge to you would be, if that's what your goal is, that you want to hit the reset button, take the SMART concept and apply it to that. Give yourself a time limit, by the end of March, per se. You want to have hit the reset button in 2 specific areas, and this is how you're going to do it. Break it down, give yourself step-by-step things, and that's how you make those big goals achievable. And it kind of goes in line with what Jessica was doing, where they do monthly things. It's okay to do a monthly check on yourself. Sit down, spend 10-15 minutes, go find a quiet place where you're going to be able to relax and get your mind off of things, and really take a personal inventory of where you're at.
It's going to take a lot longer than a few minutes.
And it could. Sometimes it'll take 30 minutes. Maybe it'll take an hour. Maybe it'll take a whole day. Who knows?
I wish I could have a whole day, but I've been working. It's ridiculous.
I know. We'll get there one of these days. But, it took me 2 months to put down some of my goals on paper. Some of them were really easy. Some of them came like that, and I was just ready. Okay, I want to hurry up and get started on this right now. So here's a few of my goals. I want to read a certain amount of books. And I broke that down. Okay, well, what books do I want to read? I want to read 12 personal growth books. That's 1 a month. Very achievable. I would lately we've been reading books together.
I've been really enjoying that. We need to get back into do that after.
Well, yeah, and I think we needed time to not focus so much on the task-oriented things.
Well, we were so busy with Christmas and getting ready and working and
then
time out to see family.
Right. Which is all equally important. So you kind of have to pick your battles, I guess, is one way to put it. So one of my goals is I would personally like to read 6 books together with my wife. So that's basically one book spread it out over 2 months, go in depth, spend time talking about it and growing together. And then the other area of book reading I want to work on is I want to spend time reading 3 books this year that are mindless, that are
stuff that I read.
The kind of things that you would read. Yeah, I didn't want to really say it that way, but they're mindless. They're like free thinking books where it's like I can totally just spend the time escaping for 30 minutes or whatever at the end of the day or every other day or something.
Well, that's why I like those more than I do, like, I mean, the self-help books and, personal growth books are good, and I get a lot out of those. But those mindless ones that you say, they're a way to get away from work, from chores, from whatever. But
you got to be careful, because sometimes those mindless books can be so mind-numbing you neglect some of those other more important things.
Well, no, it could be that's because it's a good book and you want to keep reading it. You keep thinking. But I like to read a lot of historical fiction, because then I can go back and really see, okay, what was this about, and learn about stuff that you never knew about before.
Yeah.
So it's not really mindless.
For me, it is.
Well,
that's how I have to look. That's how I have to look at it.
No, and that's fine, but I get what you mean by mindless. I don't think you're trying to make it sound like it's bad.
Right. So I also have 2 specific relationships in mind that I want to improve. I also want to take a vacation this year. I would like for us to take a vacation. That's the goal, is for us to go on a vacation, whether it's just a couple of days or whatever. And it really doesn't even have to be that far away from home. Maybe
we did
it's...
that for our anniversary. We didn't go very far, and we actually had a good time.
We did have a lot of fun. And actually, maybe that's what our vacation is this year. Going back down to Branson and going and watching Samson at Sound and Light. But I also want to go on a camp out. I don't care if I do it by myself or with somebody else.
Maybe
and I know
Daniel
you don't.
Could go with you.
I thought about having Daniel go with me. I'm setting a physical goal. I want to run a 5K in under 30 minutes. I know that I had trained in 2017 to try and do a 5K at least. Every time that doing it fit into my schedule, it didn't fit into my schedule because something else came up.
Yeah.
The other part of I have 2 other physical goals. One of them is to maintain a body weight under 190 and continue to build my strength. And I also want to do a handstand. I've never been able to do one. I've never really been able to stand on my head, but I'm just gonna. I got all year to work on doing a handstand. I think I can do
it. That's how I feel about the one goal that I told you that I wanted to do when we were at Hobby Lobby that one day.
What's that?
I said that I wanted to make a skirt or something.
Oh yeah, you want to sew something. Just
actually learn how to do it. My mom was like the greatest seamstress ever. I mean, she could look at a piece of clothing and then make the same thing without a pattern. And it's like, I don't know how I didn't get that skill. But I thought that would be kind of fun, just to.
Yeah, because neither one of your other sisters has it.
Well, they never really even cared to sew, really, I don't think.
Well,
I mean,
to each their own.
But it would be nice, because then I could make my own little things and maybe just evolve from there, making other things. And
True.
And then I've got lots of ideas for our company.
I'm getting to that.
I know, but I've got so many that I have yet to talk to you about.
Uh-oh. Is it a lot of work for me?
No, these are things that I want to learn how to make.
Awesome. Woo!
I think we've talked about some of it already, but then every time I talk about it, you kind of look at me like,
Okay.
And I'm thinking you're going to have to make them all. I can make stuff too.
I know you can. Okay, so for the show, obviously we really want to spend time this year growing the show. I didn't put the time or the effort into working on it last year. And it's my fault. I have nobody else to blame. It's my fault. But there are some things that I want to see growth in certain areas. Most of that's going to come down to engaging on social media. I want to at least for the website, I want to send out 6 newsletters, so one every other month. That was kind of a goal that I'd started with in 2017, and things got kind of hectic.
You sent one out this month, didn't you? For TSV?
No, I sent it out in December.
Oh.
I sent it out in December.
Okay.
But
yeah.
We're going to work on redesigning the website, making it a little more visually appealing.
Updated.
Yeah, it's long overdue for a big major update. So my goal is to have that done. And when I say redesigning the website, that goes along with the graphic portion of the video part of the broadcast. So the lower third stuff, there'll be some. It's going to look a little way more professional. So my goal is to have all of that stuff done, redesigning the graphics for the show, redesigning the website by the end of March. Now, that brings us to the drum roll, please. Half-hearted drum roll. Okay. Where have we been over the last month? We've been putting the final touches on building a business. We had no idea. I mean, we had an idea, a very, very small idea, how difficult it was going to be, but honestly, we had no idea. What?
I feel like my idea of it was like huge and ginormous, and I was worried about all these things. So when you would get something done, I'd be like, oh, well, that wasn't so bad. But I still feel like there's so much more.
We do have a lot more to go, but the business is up and running. Allow us to formally introduce you guys to a business that we have spent the last...
Oh, gosh.
What? 4 to 6 months?
It seems longer than that.
It's been 4 to 6 months, honestly, that we've been spending all of our extra time and resources working on. The name of the company is Old 76 Supply Company. Our website is 76supply.com. It's super easy to remember, 76supply.com. It's kind of a throwback to the old general store. You know what I mean? Where you walk in, it's no fancy stuff.
It's all just plain natural.
It's all natural, and it's stuff that you use. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody needs soap. A lot of people use lip balm. I mean, I'm not going to show the brand, but here's one. I do not leave home without at least having a thing of lip balm in my pocket. I can't leave the house without it.
We have one in the living room, one in our bedroom.
Every room in the house has lip balm.
I have one in my purse. I have one at work.
Candles, lotion. These are all going to be handcrafted, made by hand. Everything is made
in our home
in America. And here's the other thing. Sure, it's a veteran-owned and operated company, but a portion of all proceeds will be donated to a veterans outreach program, which we have yet to determine. I had another idea that I have yet to share with you, but hopefully within the next 3 years we can reach that point where we can do something like this. But we will be donating a portion of all proceeds to a veterans outreach program, And a portion of all proceeds from the month of October will be donated to breast cancer awareness. Obviously, two things that are very near and dear to both of our hearts, and to many of yours as well. But website is up and running, 76supply.com. I would personally like to invite each and every one of you to go take a look at it. I'm not asking you to buy anything. Take a look at it. Take a look at the website. Give us some feedback. What do you like? What don't you like? Shark Tank? No.
Oh, you would never do Shark Tank?
No! Sharks have laser beams!
Freaking laser beams.
The sharks have freaking laser beams. Okay. You know,
I wouldn't sweep that under the rug. There may be a time when we may need to, right?
to go on Shark Tank?
Yeah. Jessica and Daniel and Gavin would be in the back going, yay, go, go, go.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Okay. So we talked, wow, half the show is done.
We're playing catch up.
I know, we've had to play catch up a little bit. Anyway, let's talk about some stuff for the show. We don't really want to bore everybody. I think everybody fell asleep. Either that or they left. Let me look and see if they've left. They probably all left. They got bored. Yeah, they did. They're all gone. Okay, so here's the question. Is history a thing of the past? I know. I get what you're... I get where we're going with that. Okay. History. Thing of the past.
Oh, okay. Took me a second. I was like, what? Did I miss something?
Yeah, it flying over people's heads.
My head.
Okay, so I stumbled upon an article that was written back in 1988 or 1989. And it was titled The End of History. I thought, okay, yeah, I'll take a look at it. So I started reading it. Of course, you know, the first paragraph I realized I probably needed a thesaurus because this guy thinks that every other word needs to be bigger than the next one.
He uses big words.
Bigly words. So, here's... Okay. Yes, thank you for the critiquing, Ron. I appreciate that. It does seem a little slow at times. I don't know. I don't know how to speed it up. I've done everything that I can on the backside to try and speed it up. It does need some content where, you know, it was a lot of work to get it to the point that we're at now. So now that some of that has trailed off, we can work on getting more content and stuff available and out there. So the question, Ron, if you missed it, was, is history a thing of the past? I stumbled on this article written back in the late 80s called The End of History. And my big takeaway from this was he was presenting the idea that because of Western ideology, we've pretty much seen the end of major blips on the radar of history. Because, you know, with Western ideology post World War II, you know, we saw the fall of the USSR. We saw we've seen a lot of changes happening in the Middle East. We've seen a lot of changes happening in China and other Asian countries. And that's kind of the big takeaway that I saw was, and at the end of the, you know, it was like 16 pages long. At the end, I was thinking, is this guy pointing to the idea that we need to have a one world government? Because ultimately that's what he's kind of saying is, okay, well, we don't have these large global superpowers. You know, it's not the United States versus Russia versus China. Everything is so global, and at the time everything was moving towards a global thing, that the Western ideology being placed into these other countries, that in large part history was done. We're just going to go about our days. We're not going to have any big revolutions per se. Al wants us to sell sunglasses. I'm sorry, but I only wear sunglasses at night. Oh, yeah. You saw what I did there. You picked up what I threw down. Oh, anyway. Okay. Now, compare that thought to... now, I finished reading this article over the weekend. And what happened over the weekend? We saw this uprising in Iran. Now, remind me when we go to the grocery store, we got to look for the dude. What's his name?
Hussein.
Yeah, we got to look for Hussein, because Hussein is from Iran, and the guy is like super knowledgeable about what's happening. He stays on the up and up about the news that's coming out of Iran, obviously because he's still got family over there. But he's usually impressed by some of the questions and some of the things that we bring up to him and ask him about. I really like Hussein. He's a smart dude.
And he doesn't seem offended by us asking either. He seems okay with sharing what he knows and
right,
what he believes. He's not like, oh, why are you asking about my country or anything like that. He does it.
No, I mean, and you can tell that he has a love for the country.
Yeah.
But I couldn't help but think at the end of reading this article, this post, and after watching the revolt coming out of Iran, I couldn't help but think, I think this guy missed the mark. And you know, there was one part in here, and I should have highlighted it, where he talks about, okay, here it is. Wow, I got just luckily turned to the page. He says, in the contemporary world, only Islam has offered a theocratic state as a political alternative to both liberalism and communism. But the doctrine has little appeal for non-Muslims, and it is hard to believe that the movement will take on any universal significance. I thought it was really, really interesting that as I was reading this, finally, the people of Iran are revolting. They're shouting down with the regime. It was fascinating that in the late 80s, early 90s, because of the fall of Russia, they're talking about, okay, well, Western ideology, the idea of Western ideology is spread throughout the world now, that by and large, history's done. No more major conflicts. I mean, sure, the United States goes over and, we basically trample all over the Middle East. We're going to have pockets of insurgencies or riots and stuff like that. But no, we're actually seeing quite the opposite. We're seeing even more of the Western culture and Western ideology moving into Russia. We're seeing a lot of that go into China. It's being forced into, the regime in Saudi Arabia is being a little more contemporary and allowing women to drive. I mean, these are huge steps. And now we have Iran, the people of Iran, revolting and shouting that they want the regime gone. They want to topple the regime. And obviously, my fear would be that it creates a power vacuum and somebody worse comes in and takes over. I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting to see what this guy's viewpoint would be if he looked at what was happening today. I just thought it was fascinating. It was a very, very dry read.
Yeah, I couldn't get through the first few paragraphs.
You couldn't even get through the first few paragraphs.
I tried to read it. I did.
I don't even know how I got through the whole thing. It's probably because it took me a week to read it.
Well, but see, that's, I think, where we differ on what we like to read. I mean, I want some action sometimes with what I'm reading.
True. Okay, what else we got? Okay, Trump's tweets are triggering left and right. And I actually posted this last night on the Stafford Voice. I actually, and I'm not joking when I say this, she'll vouch for me, I literally laughed out loud to the point to where I aggravated my throat and started coughing and almost blew Chunks. Not Chunks the dog, but I almost got rid of dinner. Never mind. That was a bad joke.
Well, and I asked you when you first started laughing, I'm like, what?
Yeah,
and
you asked me like
another 5 minutes before I got
it took me like 5 minutes to finally calm down. So, and honestly, this is probably the funniest tweet that I think I've ever seen from President Trump. And this is his response. Excuse me. Let's wet the whistle there for just a second. Okay. This was in response to Kim Jong-un from Norco. I mean, if you've seen the video, you're probably scratching your head with Kim Jong-un on what the hell he's doing, because he walks in onto camera, stands in front of his big pulpit thing. There's like six microphones lined up in front of him. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, it's Norco. They have one television station. They have one state-run television station.
So why do they need 6 microphones?
Why do they need 6 microphones? They have one state-run radio station. Now, I'm being slightly sarcastic in saying that they only have one of each. But, seriously, coming from a country that dictates what you can and can't watch and listen to, why do they need all these different microphones?
The impression maybe to look like they're big and popular and...
True. Anyway, so at some point, I guess Kim Jong-un pointed to the idea that he has a nuclear button on his desk, and he's not afraid to use it. You know, kind of like Obama's got a pen and he's not afraid to use it. Well, Trump responded. You guys know what he responded with. He said, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un just stated that the quote-unquote nuclear button is on his desk at all times. Will someone from his depleted and food-starved regime please inform him that I too have a nuclear button, but it is much bigger and more powerful one. But it is a much bigger and more powerful one than his, and my button works. I died laughing. Seriously, that tweet and the one where he was talking about the whole global warming thing, how I think we put too much effort into it, that because you look at the temperatures across the United States, and he pointed to the idea that, okay, well, obviously we did too much, that we've fixed global warming, button up, something like that. Excuse me. I really got to get a mute button.
I'm sorry, babe.
I know. Not half as sorry as I am. It hurts.
I know. I've been there.
But honestly, that's a funny tweet.
But when you read it, you have to read it like in a Donald Trump tone.
Well, I can't right now.
I know, but I'm just saying, in my head, I could hear him.
Yeah, in your head, you're
using his little fingers like this.
Don't call him. Don't say they're little fingers, okay?
They're bigly.
They're huge. They're bigly. They do great things. Okay,
They're
great
bigly.
things. They're fantastic hands.
His button is bigly.
It is. So basically, my button's bigger than your button. Yeah. Seriously. Oh God. Anyway, the crew over at The View, they had a freaking liberal meltdown over it.
Don't they have a meltdown every day?
They do. True. You're right. Okay. I'm about ready to melt down over this. Do you know what's getting ready to go extinct?
No.
You're not going to like this.
Uh-oh.
Do you like chocolate?
I love chocolate.
Chocolate could be extinct in 40 years.
I got a plenty in my cabinet right now. I'm good.
Do you have enough?
For a little while. Not
seriously.
for the next 40 years.
We're going to be gone. I mean, 40 years. We'll be 80.
We'll still be here.
Still be here, but I don't know if we're going to be able to...
You'll be still doing your radio show.
I don't know about that.
We'll be handing over the reins of our business, Old 76, to Daniel and Gavin.
We'll see.
Or Daniel will be getting ready to hand it over to Gavin.
So yeah, get this. They say cocoa beans, the plant responsible for one of the world's favorite sweet treats, can grow only in mild, humid rainforest conditions. Due to global warming... God damn it, Al Gore, you screw up everything. The climates of these cocoa-growing regions are expected to get hotter and drier over time, threatening the lives of the plants.
So can I send Al Gore my therapy bill if I don't get to have chocolate?
Al Gore's an idiot. He can't even read.
So he wouldn't know how much I spent on therapy then.
Al Gore's an idiot.
He could write a check out for it.
He's an idiot. You know, he invented the internet.
Right.
Sure, just ask him.
Uh-huh.
So they say experts have predicted that the plant will be impossible to grow by 2050. You better stock up on chocolate.
I've got enough for right now with the holidays that came around.
Okay, you think we have enough chocolate, but I guarantee you we don't.
No, I know. It's not going to last us that long.
It's not. We're going to need way more Nutella. But that's not even really...
unopened jar when I cleaned the pantry out, and it is not expired. It's a big jar of Nutella.
Wow.
It's a good year for you.
It gets my motor running.
Jeez.
Makes me want to head out on the highway. Wow.
Without coughing.
Yeah, now we're coughing. Okay. Anyway, we're probably about ready to be done for the night. Right? I'm getting all excited now. You need to talk. I'm so sorry, guys.
Next week you'll be better.
I hope so. But yeah, I mean, Ron in the chat, he says, who'd want to be here in a world without chocolate? I sure don't.
I have to have chocolate. I didn't realize how much I need it or like crave chocolate. It's kind of like a stress relief sometimes.
It is. I mean, it's huge. Look how many things have chocolate.
Hot
Snickers.
cocoa. Oh, you like Snickers? I got Snickers.
Kit Kats.
I got Kit Kats for you too.
Reese's peanut butter cups. All these things, you can't have any of these things without chocolate.
I have hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. I mean, it's in the name.
Chocolate milk. Daniel can't go without his chocolate milk.
He probably could. But what kind of quality of life would it be without chocolate milk?
Not a good one.
Nutella. Nutella on your pancakes or on your French toast. Nutella on French toast is fantastic. You still have to put syrup on it too.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
That's like Elf and all his concoctions that he makes in the movie. That stuff makes me want to gag.
Oh, I don't even know how he was able to do those scenes.
I think you and I watched that this Christmas season and we just looked at each other like, oh, good Lord.
Yeah, I don't know how he was able to do it. I really don't. Okay, so, you know what? We have talked enough. I'm pretty sure you guys are either asleep or tuned out.
Or raiding their pantries for chocolate.
Probably raiding the pantries for chocolate, you know, putting it on their list and checking it twice because they've got to make sure they got enough chocolate.
Extinct.
It is. Nobody wants to be without chocolate. I mean, you have whole countries that are built on chocolate. The Swiss? You thought they were only built on cheese. What?
Did you take medicine before you did the show?
Yeah. It's not working. It's not working at all. Okay. We gotta wrap this up because this is getting really bad.
I'm sorry, babe.
Wow.
At least you got through most of the show.
We did. I promise, guys, we'll be better next week. Oh, wow. We got to get more friends in the chat room next week.
Ron stayed in the whole day.
Ron did. Well, he did kind of dip out on us.
But he said he was, I'm assuming he was checking out our old 76 website.
He was. Okay, so, look, I know that it's been a while. We seem a little rusty tonight. But I'm Daniel and she's Roxanne. Yeah, neither one of us is rusty. The jokes are bad. I mean, seriously, the jokes are free tonight, okay? You're not paying for any of them, but you're getting them. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. We're calling it a night. That's all we got time. That's all we have time for this week. God willing, hopefully. God willing. Do what?
We will.
We will?
We will.
Okay. So you heard it. You heard it from the boss lady. She says we'll be back next week.
It's on my schedule.
Oh. She put it on the schedule.
I wrote that down.
Woo. She wrote. Oh my goodness. Okay. I tell you what. She says we'll be back. The Stafford Voice will be back next week. You can follow us over on Twitter at Stafford Voice or on Gab. You can look us up on Facebook or Instagram. All you got to do is just search for the Stafford Voice. Also, feel free to hop on over to thestaffordvoice.com. Check up on any of the new news that happens over there. Or if you feel like you need to keep yourself clean with all the dirtiness of the world, head on over to 76supply.com. Take a look at some of the various bars of soap that we got going on over there. And subscribe to either one of the newsletters on the Stafford Voice or 76 Supply so you can stay up to date on both of those projects. If you've got questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to send them to the Stafford Voice at gmail.com. Again, that's the Stafford Voice at gmail.com. We want to thank you so much for your time. And until next week, thanks and God bless. Yes. Ron, the answer to that question is yes. The answer to the question is yes. We are. We're gonna go ahead and end things here. We lost all the show graphics, so we don't have anything prepped for an after the show. So
I just realized that you didn't have all the fancy stuff.
No. It's all gone. All that stuff's gone.
Thanks, Obama.
Wow. Nice one. Bonus points. Okay. So yeah, we're going to call it a night. You guys are awesome. Thanks for tuning in. We will catch you out in the Twitterverse or the Facebook land or whatever it's called. We'll be better next week, I promise.
Okay.
We'll be done with this. We're out. You're awesome.
Bye,
You're more than
guys.
friends. You guys are family. Thanks and God bless.